A show based on the facts, honesty, the man, the myth, the legend. ChristiTutionalist Joseph M. Leonard.
Welcome to ChristiTutionalist Politics Podcast, aka CTP, in association with thelibertybeacon.com, and I am your host, Joseph M. Leonard, and that's L-E-N-A-R-D. CTP is your no muss, no fuss, just me, you, and occasional guest type podcast. Really appreciate you tuning in. As Graham Norton would say, let's get on with the show! Hello, everyone. This will be Season 2, Episode 78. First, I am so tired, mentally and physically drained. And I say that because that's probably a good thing for you. Because poking fun at myself, maybe, just maybe, I might have to talk slow enough for people to understand me, rather than my OCD brain and mouth trying to go 50 bazillion miles a minute to keep up with it and get things out. My hyper state of speaking to you normally. And imagine me on caffeine. I'm in that normal state, despite not having had coffee in decades, even though I talk about coffee in some episodes. I enjoy coffee, but I just haven't had it. The coffee brands like Monkey Cult or Blackout Coffees that I was promoting for a potential Christmas gift, tinyurl.com/blackoutcoffees with an S on the end, all together, tinyurl.com/blackoutcoffees. But at any rate, and if you didn't know that was coming, I don't know what to tell you. And indeed, I'm jokingly doing that now over and over, hopefully clean up the ahs and the ums, and at any rate would normally be an annoyance that a podcaster or radio show host would want to cut out, but it's kind of an inside joke now at this point between us for those who aren't in on the joke. But indeed, at any rate, is that the fourth one already now? Yeah, mentally, physically drained, but as they say, the show must go on. And this segment, probably not the show, but this segment will be a shorter one. But stay tuned, there will be another segment that is part of the show, pre-recorded weeks ago, been up on BitChute, Brighteon, Daily Motion, Rumble, and YouTube. Behind the scenes sneak peek video of that segment will be attached to this show now to go out over the 20 plus audio only platforms the show is on. But indeed, at any rate, it was on the video channels as behind the scenes sneak peek already. So maybe you have seen it. Won't need to listen to it, but if you haven't heard it yet, it's coming. So, at any rate, is that number 5? For the benefit of the transcript, yes, I'm laughing out loud at myself. This episode, Season 2, Episode 78, Part 2 of No, You Cannot Rush. So, this segment can be shorter, and indeed, again, in conjunction with and correlation with, corresponding with thelibertybeacon.com, piece by the same name. Please go there. There will indeed be a whole lot more there as a follow-up, as well as obviously a link back to No, You Cannot Rest Part 1. Far more there to see in writing than there will be here. I have a couple notes, just want to make a couple points. If you don't know yet, I have a We the People demand list. WTPDL, also short hashtag WTPDL or hashtag We the People Demand List, a quasi follow-up to Contract with America, and no, you cannot rest. So you voted. So the bleep what? What are you doing the next 2 hours, 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, 2 decades to be involved, be awakened, not woke, alert, and keeping pressure on those we voted for to make sure if we go back to sleep, it'll be the same old, them playing games, kick the can down the road. Oh, well, we promised, but we couldn't get it done. Oops, you can hear the phone ringing in the background. Let me unplug it there. I did not unplug the home phone. At any rate, where was I? If we do not keep our demands upon them, why would you not expect they'll do the usual whatever games and gimmicks they want? And as well, I'm already hearing Doge excuses. People saying, oh, we may not see actually the results of Doge for a decade. No, not just no, hell no. No more games, no more gimmicks, no more excuses, no more kicking the can down the road and promises of savings that we identified now that'll come later. No, they never happen. They never materialize. Now, right now, immediate cuts in items that would be put into the pipeline, cut. Things already in the pipeline, clawed back, cut. Now. No more of this later stuff. Now. And in order to get that, you, and everybody else that together we comprise, we the people, must push the now up to 50 items in my Before It's News version of We the People Demand List article there. And coming in the next 2 weeks, a part 1 and part 2 of We the People Demand List to thelibertybeacon.com. So watch for that. 50 items in the Before It's News article. I intend to only go into only like half that on libertybeacon.com pieces and the show episodes that will be coming, or they would be 3-hour shows. There is an official change.org We the People Demand List petition that you can sign and share and send to your representatives. But again, that is limited to 20 items because otherwise it would just be too big. It's a start. And that's the point here. It's a start. We're not going to agree on all these things. We know we're not going to get all these things. But if we don't ask, we're never, ever going to get any of them. So whether it's just 10 of the 20 or maybe 20 of the 50, it's a start. And then after the midterms, we go after 10 or 20 more of the items. All right, let me check my notes now. 2 hours, 2 days. That's in my notes. I want the Doge excuses. I wrote that down. Oh, here's a note that's kind of an aside, right? Nothing to do with this, but it actually does. What social media platforms are you on now? Yes, engage in social media, but the whole point of no, you cannot rest means, right? Let me lift up, right? The ugly couch that I joke about being hidden by the green screen. You can't put your butt on the couch again all the time and thinking, whining, moaning, complaining online is anything. Yeah, okay, it can be helpful to get the We the People Demand List out about and recruiting others to be active and involved. But if that's all you're doing, you're not doing jack. Seriously. I'm sorry. This show, right, about the Bible, full context, and sometimes people wanting to, the hippie hacky sack version of Jesus and just singing around the campfire, singing kumbaya all day, all night. No, the tough love parts of the Bible, the whole Bible in full context. So sorry if you think I'm calling you out, because I am calling you out. Get off the butt. Go out, do things. But the note here, if in the corner, Parler, a friend, Rick Walker, Maverick News, told me Parler was back a couple weeks ago. So that's now like the 17th platform I'm on. Why would you limit yourself to one social media platform? I'm on, like I say, 12 plus. I think it's up to 17 now, and I post on all of them. It's not difficult to post, then basically copy, paste it to the next one, maybe add more if there are more characters allowed, post, paste to the next one, change it, or just hit enter. Bam, 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 bam. The same post across 20 platforms. Why? Because each of the platforms, there's going to be duplication and some of the same followers, but each platform gives you a chance at different audience. And why would you want to limit yourself and your own reach? You talk about censorship. You're censoring yourself in a respect if you're limiting yourself to one or two platforms. Also, check out tinyurl.com/social media never surrender. Yeah, all four words run together. tinyurl.com/social media never surrender. All about why would you limit yourself? Hints, tips, and techniques on managing a dozen or more platforms in one sitting. It don't take 5 hours. It takes 5 minutes. Okay. So there's that. So glad I checked my notes. So yes, I am on Parler again now, as I was before it went away. I am at J. Leonard Detroit, most social media platforms, most of my video platforms, at J. Leonard Detroit on beforeitsnews.com. Full name, Joseph M. Leonard at thelibertybeacon.com. I was J. Leonard Detroit at Red State when I used to write for them. On Parler, I think my old ID might be hanging out, or somebody's impersonating me and stole it. So I'm at real J. Leonard Detroit on Parler now. So if there is another J. Leonard Detroit there, that ain't me. I'm at real J. Leonard Detroit on Parler, at J. Leonard Detroit on almost all the other platforms. Checking my notes again. Yeah, the Doe's excuses, 2 hours to next. Yes, the next couple TLB items will indeed be related to We the People demand list, because again, no, you cannot rest. So you voted. So what? What are you going to do now? Or are you going to go back to sleep and let them go back to the usual way of not doing anything they promised, making excuses, and kicking the can down the road? You, me, we all, we the people must be involved. Okay, that's my notes. So that's what I'm going to cover. Again, go to thelibertybeacon.com. Check out No You Cannot Rest Part 2. And while you're there, if you didn't see it, the Part 1. But one or the other, even though they are Part 1 and Part 2, you can just read one, not the other. That's not a big deal. The point is keeping our momentum going, right? Do we understand that? So you voted. So what? You got a bunch of people elected. So what? Are you going to keep their feet to the fire and do the things we elected them for? Thank you all. Take care. God bless. As I said, there was another segment that was pre-recorded weeks ago that I will tack on. And again, yeah, imagine me if I were on caffeinated coffee or caffeinated pop. Now, I promised the doctor pure water. Yes. Okay, doc. I'm drinking bottled water, although I am adding some ascorbic acid to it, not for flavor, but for the vitamin C continual intake content because of my health issues. Thank you all. Take care. I bet you thought I was going to say at any rate there. Oh, now I did say at any rate. Oh, I said it twice. Again, for the transcript, yes, I'm laughing at myself. We got to be able to poke fun at ourselves, or we have no business poking fun at others. Thank you all. Take care. Let's get on with segment 2. Hey, gang, a tacked on add-on segment not planned for this show, might end up tacked on, added on, actually to a couple shows coming up. First and foremost, let me say I did not create this platform to be a rah, 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 hey, look at me, all about me. None of this is supposed to be about me. But I have to tell a story that indeed is about me, just to make a point. I was at an event the other day, and someone who just got their butt off their couch and started to be involved now, beating his chest about his involvement, which let me stop right there. Not bad. I'm glad. Please, have I not made clear during this show or decades and decades of articles online, including writing for Red State and whatnot, about get off your couch, get involved, you need to be a delegate, and this and that, the other thing. Recently, so you voted. So what? What are you doing the next 2 hours, 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, 2 decades to actually do things that matter, not just whine, moan, complain online, but really do nothing to matter. So very happy that this person got involved. But I've been involved in politics since 1978, and I've seen his ilk come and go all the time over the years. They come, they have this delusions of how they're going to make everything perfect. And when they run into the reality that things aren't going to just roll over, the insider deep state that exists in both parties aren't going to just give way. But at any rate, so yeah, glad he's involved. Talk to me next year, next decade, if you bother to still be around and not give up and go back to your couch like so many like you I've seen before. But he says to me, where have you been? And I'm like, okay, you really want to hear? Where have I been? Well, I've been doing an internationally carried show to try to make a difference. I've been, as I have for decades, write at least an article once a week, many times 2, 3, 4, or more times a week, appearing at theforestnews.com or thelibertybeacon.com, which, of course, this show every week is in correlation and conjunction corresponds with the article there and the episode here. So, yeah, I've been doing that, as well as, of course, my 5 international books, trying to make a difference on a national and beyond that worldwide scale level, as opposed to just butting my head here in Southeast Michigan only. And I'll get to the Michigan GOP in a minute. So, I used to write for Red State with the Forest News, still now, and thelibertybeacon.com now. So there's the show, there's the books, there's the online articles, there's the countless other shows that I've appeared as a guest on to talk politics or whatnot. I've even been on a few paranormal shows to talk ghosts and stuff like that, and UFOs. But I talk about a lot of things, but yes, mainly politics. So, yeah, where have I been? What have I been doing? Where have you been the last 4 decades? But again, it's not about me, but the MIGOP. Why am I doing what I'm doing and how I'm doing it and why I'm doing it? Well, I don't want to be a part of the corruptokins of the MIGOP right now, because I'm an actual conservative, a ChristiTutionalist. I actually believe in rule of law, like our platform says we believe in. I'm not about to rub elbows with the corruptocrats of Michigan. Pete Jokstra, as I call him, who is a CINO, in my opinion, and came to power how? Through an improper, illegal called convention of only part of the delegates to basically create a coup to gain power. Now, I know he and Trump are kind of close, and he was an ambassador to who knows where before, a safe spot to put a CINO in. But for us to now claim, oh, okay, I'm proud to be part of the MIGOP. No, I'm not. I'm not going to be involved with corruptokins, just like I would never be part of the commie, fasci, sociocrats, corruptocrats. And their endless charade and games and rigging elections and rigging conventions and rigging whatever. So the deep state insider establishment hacks, like a jokester is, he's good on a lot of things. So don't get me wrong, but I cannot associate with someone who engaged in an illegal coup to take power. What does that say about me? So where have I been? I've been calling out everybody on all sides. I don't wear the red team hat or the red team jersey. Rah, rah, rah. Go team, and whatever they do, if they got an R by their name, is fine. No, that's not principled. That's not being a ChristiTutionalist, because facts matter, details matter, context matters, history matters. How and why you're doing something, if it's based on values and principles, matters, or is it just for your own power and control, your own glory? And none of this that I'm doing is about that for me. Now, yes, of course, my name is on it. Yes, my name's on it because I'm not choosing to be anonymous. I'm not trying to hide anything here from you. So, to wrap it up, where have I been? Well, that's where I've been, what I'm doing. more or less.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Podcast fans, get more about your favorite podcasts via deepcast.fm, transcripts, and all kinds of extra available information on your favorite podcasts, including ChristiTutionalist Politics Podcast, is listed at deepcast.fm, as well as, are you a podcaster? Well, you can claim your free listing and more via Deepcast Pro. Check out tinyurl.com/DeepcastPro for podcasters for your free listing, and that's the number 4 in there. tinyurl.com/DeepcastPro for podcasters, the number 4, Deepcast Pro, the number 4 podcasters via tinyurl.com extension. Take care, all. You gotta check them out. Get more out of your podcast, whether you're the podcaster or the podcastee. Yeah, I think I just invented that word. Why I'm doing it. But again, none of this matters in relation to me and what have I done? What am I doing? What will I be doing? I am always asking, as I was on Trudy Bierman, PSI TV. It's on Roku TV, or you could check the PSI TV YouTube channel. As I sit here recording this now, it hasn't dropped yet, but by the time you see or hear this, it likely will be out. As I said to Trudy the other day, oh, now I'm forgetting where I was going with this. Oh, my apologies. As you hear me say all the time, I don't script the shows, but CTP, I was talking to her about the show. This show is not about me. It's not. It's about ChristiTutionalist, the concept that I indeed created as something that doesn't automatically create a knee-jerk, emotionally hysterical reaction by someone if they hear conservative or liberal or Democrat or Republican. Christian-based, biblically based, sound biblical scriptures, the whole Bible in full context. And as I told Trudy, here I go, forgetting where it's going to go. Again, not about me, but self-reflection. I'm asking you to self-reflect. Can you, Michael Jackson's Man in the Mirror. I'm looking at the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. Well, pardon the bad singing. 70s and 80s, I used to write and record music, but my voice is shot these days. Or Rick Springfield's, as I mentioned on the PSI TV show. Prayer from his Karma album. I send a prayer to heaven for the chance to be a better man than the man I see. Can you self-reflect? Are you a biblical Christian? Or are you someone who picks and twists and distorts a scripture here and there to fit your worldview and pretending you're actually a Christian? Again, this is self-reflection. Don't get mad at me. I didn't say this on Trudy's show, or Trudy's show. I meant to, but forgot, right? Don't shoot the messenger. If you're getting mad at me for asking questions and whether you indeed can look in the mirror and are indeed biblically sound in your day-to-day actions and you're voting for whom you're voting for and whatnot. If you're mad at me for asking the questions, then, you know the saying, I think she doth protest too much, right? Can you honestly ask yourself the questions, and will the answers be good, or are you upset that I dare ask questions and that you self-reflect honestly and pray on things? Are you upset because deep down, subconsciously, you're having this reaction because you know you don't really live up to the standards? Right? Matthew 7 is really condemn not lest ye be condemned. There are 12 plus other scriptures about judging biblically. Remove log from thine own eye. Judge yourself as you do others biblically. Can you pass the judge yourself test? And that's what some are getting upset about, because they know deep down they cannot. And the question is then, are you going to come back to Christ? Are you going to come back to the Bible? Are you going to be involved in politics? Articles I've written, no, you cannot rest. Again, so you voted, so what? 2 hours, 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, 2 decades. What are you going to do going forward? Not what you did on November 5th. To stay involved, be a real difference maker rather than just a whiner. Now, this does not exclude and preclude all Democrats, or as Dennis Prager would say rightly, classical liberals. But most classical liberals are like a Brendan Strzok, a Candace Owens, a Tammy Bruce, a Leo Terrell, so many. RFK Jr. left the Democrat Party, technically still an independent, not really a Republican. That's okay, right? Elon Musk, not really a Republican, an independent, going to be part of actions and the cabinet direction of the Trump administration coming in. Classical liberals, as Prager said, we have a lot in common with as conservatives if we talk about it to one another, like free speech, that ideological leftists oppose. They want to destroy free speech. They only want their speech an echo chamber because their ideas, values, and policy prescriptions do not stand up to scrutiny if given honest discussion. And I know I'm getting long, so before it's news, look up language use and abuse, thelibertybeacon.com, parts 1 and part 2 of language twisting and warping. That's why they twist and warp words, to try to distort their meanings and make them something they are not, because they cannot win an honest debate. So this does not preclude all Democrats. Classical liberals, though, self-reflect. Are those running as Democrats actually really living up to what you're asking them, what you're voting them for? Or are you tuning out and not paying attention? They're promising you some great stuff, but then you go to sleep, and the next 2 years, 4 years, 6 years they're in office, they vote exactly the opposite of what you thought you were voting them for. And again, don't wear the red hat. CINOs, RINOs, as bad as commie, fascist, sociocrats. It's not all roses in the GOP, but if you're to make a difference as a true ChristiTutionalist, it is currently the only party where those values and principles are represented. And why I do this show, and again, as Rush Limbaugh, It was Reagan said, right? Trust but verify. Don't take my word for anything on anything. I want you to self-reflect. Ask yourself the tough questions. Can you honestly answer truthfully in the affirmative on some things, or does the very question alone make you want to vehemently react out against anyone daring ask the questions? Because deep down, you know you don't live up to it yourself. That's what becoming part of being a ChristiTutionalist is about. Not about me, not about my neighbor there, my neighbor over there, my sister, my parents, RIP, my grandparents, RIP, aunts and uncles now also RIP, but, cousins, nieces, nephews. Not about that, but us looking inward, self-reflecting, and whether we can be honest with ourselves. And me being part of the MIGOP right now under Jokestra that illegally engaged in a coup to gain power, no, I'd be a hypocrite. I'd be a liar. I'd be as bad as those I complain about. So at any rate, I don't know how long ago. Oh, I'm looking up here now. I've gone like 20 minutes on this alone, let alone the show this is going to wind up being a part of. I hope, I pray you stuck with me through this and my need to clarify yet again what this show is about. Not about me trying to preach to you, but about all of us self-reflecting. We are all human. We are imperfect. We are frail. We can make mistakes. Can we, when confronted by facts, evidence, reality over delusion, admit to a mistake and that we are wrong? I have a Before It's News piece. I've been right. I've been wrong. I never hide from my history. I've made mistakes and I admit to them. It's part of growing and becoming a better person if we do. Thank you all. Take care. God bless. Thank you for having tuned in for ChristiTutionalist Politics Show. If you haven't already, please check out my primary internationally available book, Terror Strikes, coming soon to a city near you. Available anywhere books are sold. If you have locally run bookstores still near you, they can order it for you, or autographed copies are available online direct from me via terrorstrikes.info/shop. Be sure to check out more about today's discussion at thelibertybeacon.com, where my articles drop every Saturday. And let me remind, over time, the fancy high production items will come, but for now, for starters, it's just you as a very appreciated listener by me. All substance, no fluff, just straight to key discussion points. A show that looks at a variety of topics, mostly politics, through a Christian U.S. constitutionalist lens. So again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Take care. God bless. Like and subscribe to ChristiTutionalist Politics Podcast and share episodes. We need your help.
It is a myth that terrorism stopped during COVID. Unfortunately, mainstream media opted to prioritize pandemic hysteria over promoting all news. Terrorism continues. Simply hoping that it doesn't affect you is not a strategy. The new book, Terror Strikes, coming soon to a city near you, featured on The Author Show, is now available in paperback from bookstores, online, or as an ebook exclusively through Amazon Kindle. Terror Strikes, coming soon to a city near you by Joseph M. Leonard. Order today.